My dear beloved, respected brothers and sisters, I ask Allah Azza wa Jal, who gathered us in this masjid to gather us Yawm al-Qiyamah with Sayyid al-Mursaleen Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Almost every khutbah I make this dua for Allah to gather us with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And there will be people on the Day of Judgment that will be the most beloved to Him and the closest people to Him on the Day of Judgment. And there will be people who are the most disliked by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the furthest away from Him on the Day of Judgment. قال عليه الصلاة والسلام إن من أحبكم إلي وأقربكم مني مجلسا يوم القيامة أحاسنكم أخلاقا وإن أبغضكم إلي وأبعدكم مني مجلسا يوم القيامة الثرثارون والمتشدقون والمتفيهقون. The most beloved to me and the closest to me on the Day of Judgment are the ones, not the ones who go every single year to Hajj, the one who pray day and night, the one who gave $1 million every day, the one with the best of manners. The one with the best of manners. Of course, the rest of the other stuff is a must, it's not an option. To pray and to fast in the month of Ramadan and to give your zakat. But the best among these are the ones with the best of manners. The best, the closest to Rasulullah ﷺ and the most beloved to him. And the most disliked to me and the furthest from me on the Day of Judgment are الثرثارون, the talkative. They talk too much. They talk too much. والمتشدقون. Mutashaddiqun, I would say probably the closest translation is a pretentious. He knows about everything. You talk about the moon, he's an astronaut. You talk about watermelon, he's a farmer. You talk about anything, he knows about everything. وَالْمُتَفَيْهِقُونَ. They said, Ya Rasulullah, we know the thartharun and mutashaddiqun. Who's the mutafayhiqun? He said, al-mutakabbirun. They speak to others with arrogance. They look down on others when they are talking to them. They belittle others when they're talking to them. These three are the furthest from Rasulullah ﷺ and the most disliked by him. Now, my brothers and sisters, what is the one thing that is common among all three? What is the organ that all three used for them either to be loved by Rasulullah ﷺ or for them to be way far from Rasulullah ﷺ? It is the tongue. The tongue. We have a halaqah every single day after Fajr in the whole month of Ramadan. And I mentioned this topic yesterday, and after I finished, many of the brothers and sisters said, Sheikh, you have to make a khutbah about this because many of us forget about this. My brothers and sisters, this Ramadan, we should train ourselves not just to fast from eating and drinking. We should make our tongue fast from talking and moving. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, إذا أصبح ابن آدم فإن الأعضاء تكفر اللسان فتقول اتق الله فينا فإنما نحن بك إن استقمت استقمنا وإن اعوججت اعوججنا. Every day in the morning, when the son of Adam wakes up, all the body parts humble themselves to the tongue and they say, please fear Allah with us. We are all depending on you. We are all depending on you. If you are straight, mustaqim, we will all be mustaqim. And if you are crooked, we will all be crooked every day in the morning. We don't want this Ramadan to be among the people whom Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said about them, رُبَّ صَائِمٍ حَظُّهُ مِنَ الصِّيَامِ الْجُوعُ وَالْعَطَشِ. There are some people who are fasting and all they get from their fasting is hunger and thirst. Rasulullah ﷺ called him Sa'im because he thinks he's Sa'im. He is not eating, she is not drinking. But Rasulullah ﷺ, the reward they will get, they're hungry and they're thirsty. That's all they're getting from their fasting. We don't want to be among these people. And Rasulullah ﷺ said in the hadith in Bukhari, من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به فليس لله حاجة أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. Whomsoever does not leave false speech and evil deeds, Allah has no need for him to leave his eating and drinking. One of the Salaf used to say, the easiest part about fasting is to stop eating and drinking. And Al-Hasan al-Basri, rahimahullah, used to say, if one body part should be jailed, it is the tongue. All day long, 12, 13 or more hours, fasting from eating and drinking halal things. But in the meantime, we are eating our brothers and sisters' flesh. We fast from halal and we break our fast on haram. My brothers and sisters, Uqba ibn Amir radiallahu anh asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam a question that's on every believer's mind. He said, Ya Rasulullah, man najat? What is salvation? How can I be saved on the day of judgment? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أملك عليك لسانك وليسعك بيتك وابكي على خطيئتك. Number one, control your tongue. Control your tongue. And let your house suffice you. Here, the ulama said it means be content with whatever Allah has decreed for you. And the third, cry over your sins. Every time you sin, you regret it. And you cry from anger, from yourself. How did I do that? This is salvation. A man came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he said, Ya Rasulullah, قل لي في الإسلام قولا لا أسأل عنه أحدا بعدك. Tell me something in Islam that I will not ask anybody after you. That's it. I'll take this and I'll work on it. I'll work by it. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one of the gifts he has given is jawami' al-kalam. He speaks few words that are very concise but very meaningful. He summarized the whole deen in 4 or 5 words. He told the man, قُلْ آمَنْتُ بِاللَّهِ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِمْ. That's the whole Islam. Say, I believe in Allah, then stay upright. Follow the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Then the man asked another question. Ya Rasulullah, listen carefully, my brothers and sisters. ما أخوف ما تخافه عليه. What is the worst thing, Ya Rasulullah, that you fear for me, for him and for all Muslims? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أمسك عليك هذا. He held his tongue and he said, control this. The worst thing, Ya Rasulullah, you fear for me. He held his tongue and he said, control this. My brothers and sisters, one time Umar radiallahu anhu walked in and saw Abu Bakr holding his tongue and saying, this has destroyed me. This has destroyed me. My brother, who's saying this? The first Khalifa. guaranteed Jannah. The father-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the first Muslim, the one who donated all his wealth fi sabilillah. He is worried and saying that his tongue has destroyed him. What do I say? What do I say? We worked very hard, and we're still working for every single hasana, for every single good deed that we have earned. We fast and we read Quran and we give sadaqat and we help others, trying to accumulate as much hasanat as possible. From the common sense, we have to maintain and protect them. من المفلس? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sitting with the Sahaba, and he asked, this is one of his da'wah style, who is the bankrupt? You all know the hadith. Ya Rasulullah, the bankrupt is the one who has no money, no dirham, no dinar, nothing, doesn't have any money. He said, no. الذي يأتي يوم القيامة بصلاة وصيام وزكاة. Allahu Akbar, so far it's me. So far it's me. He comes on the day of judgment, he prays, he gives his zakat, he fasts. He has in another narration mountains of good deeds. ولكنه ظلم هذا وشتم هذا. But he oppressed this one, and he backbite this one, and he harmed this one, and on the day of judgment he will stand. He's very excited. He crossed the Sirat, Allahu Akbar, and he saw on the Sirat people falling, and he got to the other side and he's excited. He's about to enter Jannah and he saw a huge line. What's up, guys? What do you want? Habibi, in the dunya, you spread rumors against me. You went in the community and you said things about me that are not true. Give me 5,000 hasana. I'm paraphrasing. Next, you ruined my business because you forwarded something that was not true about my business, and you made me lose everything I gained or I saved all my life. Give me 50,000 hasana. And the line keeps going. And I'm saying, I'm paraphrasing the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he said, alayhi salatu wasalam, they keep asking him for hasanat until his hasanat are zero. And when he's done, empty, bankrupt, they start giving him from their evil deeds. ثُمَّ يُطْرَحْ فِي النَّارِ. Allahu Akbar. Then he will be thrown in the hellfire. What did the hadith start, Ya Akhwan? Ya Akhwan, please, I beg you, for the sake of Allah, we come every Jum'ah, we have to listen and apply. What did the hadith start with? With me and you. He prays and he fasts and he gives zakat. This is all of us, so I have to become all ears. How did this guy get to the hellfire with all these good deeds? And that's all we brag about. Your son wants to get married. Oh, he prays 5 times a day. Things are so bad that if my son prays 5 times a day, it's something to brag about. La ilaha illallah. As if I'm saying my son breathes. My son have breakfast every day. This is when you say my son prays 5 times a day. He fasts also. MashaAllah, he fasts almost all Ramadan. Allahu Akbar. You're so happy? This is how bad things are. That somebody fasts Ramadan is like, wow, this is the foundation only. These are the foundation only. These are the pillars only. We did not decorate yet. Started by a person who fasts and prays, and ended by being him thrown in the hellfire. اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أجرنا من النار قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله استغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Bismillahi wahdah. As-salatu was-salam ala man la nabiyya ba'dah. What would you do if someone cursed the Kaaba? What would you do if someone is planning and plotting to demolish the Kaaba? Wallahi, you will go crazy. Even the worst of the Muslims, the most sinner Muslim cannot even stay quiet when something like this happens. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam كان يطوف بالكعبة ويقول ما أطيبك وما أطيب ريحك وما أعظمك وما أعظم حرمتك والذي نفس محمد بيده لحرمة المؤمن أعظم عند الله حرمة منك ماله ودمه وأن نظن به إلا خيرا. الله أكبر. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was making tawaf around the Kaaba and he said, how great, he's talking to the Kaaba, how great are you? And how great is your fragrance? How great are you and how great is your sanctity? But the sanctity of the believer, the sanctity of the believer is more greater in the sight of Allah than your sanctity. His blood, his wealth, and to always think good about him. The sanctity of the believer is greater in the sight of Allah than the sanctity of the Kaaba. When the rumors spread against our mother Aisha radiyallahu anha, وَلَعَنَ اللَّهُ مَنْ لَعَنَهَا, Abu Ayyub, look how you stop the gossip. Ayyub came to Abu Ayyub and she said, did you hear what people are saying about Aisha? He said, stop. And by the way, you know, there's ghiba, backbiting, there's buhtan, slander, when you say things that are not even true. And then there's the worst part, which is called ifk. This is when you say, I don't know, I heard, people are saying, this is worse than all. So she said, Ya Abu Ayyub, did you hear what people are saying? He said, stop. Oh Ayyub, if you were in the desert with a man alone, would you do anything? He said, A'udhu billah. He said, Aisha is better than you. Topic is closed. He ended the whole gossip. Finish. Aisha is better than you. Aisha is better than you. Done. No room. Unfortunately, when someone comes with juicy stuff to us, we become all ears. Yalla, give me more. Be careful, ya akhi. Be very careful. Listen to this hadith. Very well-known hadith. Safiya walked into the room and Aisha radiallahu anha and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was there. As Safiya is leaving, Ya Rabb, Ya Allah, I beg you with the best of your names to protect us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, help us control our tongue. Aisha said, in one narration she said, and in another narration she just gestured with her hand. She said, she's short. She is short. In another narration, short. What did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? Ya Aisha, لقد قلت كلمة لو مزجت في ماء البحر لمزجته أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Oh Aisha, you've said a word. If it was mixed with the ocean will become contaminated. You can't swim, you can't drink, you can't do anything with it. Done. One word, short. How many people we call black, white, tall, fatso, this, that, making fun in a fun way, not in an identification way, in a fun way. And we لا يلقي لها بال. Rasulullah said, if someone would say a word that he does not pay any attention to, لا يلقي لها بال تهوي به في جهنم 70 خريفا. It will take him to the hellfire 70 years. One word. One word. أمسك عليك لسانك. We work so hard in Ramadan. We fast 13, 14 hours. We pray 10 or 20 rak'ahs. And then after we finish Taraweeh, we stand outside in the entrance. We start with the board, then with the imam, then with the ustaz, then with the sheikh, then with the hafiz, until we make sure we have finished all our hasanat. All of them are done, distributed evenly. My brothers and sisters, when the ghibah or when backbiting is taking place, you are one of three. Either you are the one who's talking, and this whole khutbah is for you. And remember, ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. Every word we say, it is written and recorded. Or you are the person who's listening. Either you're the one who's talking, or you are the one who's listening. And if somebody starts talking about someone in their absence, first you tell them to stop. If they do not listen, Salamu Alaikum. Otherwise, if you stand there and you start shaking your head, you are partner in the crime. Equal. Two men walking behind Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They start talking about a brother. One of them is talking about a brother, and the other is shaking his head. After a few steps, Rasulullah ﷺ said, come over here, eat from this dead donkey. I said, what? No, Ya Rasul, how could we eat from a dead donkey? He said, you just did something worse. You ate from your brother's flesh. He said, both of you ate, even though the other guy did not say anything. He was just standing there, shaking his head with approval. He said, you both. Or, when you hear something about your brother in their absence, instead of shaking your head, defend. And if you know that whatever that speech is, it's false, it's not true, defend your brother, defend your sister in their absence. من رد على عرض أخيه رد الله عن وجهه النار يوم القيامة. Whomsoever defend his brother, his sister in their absence, Allah will save his face from the hellfire on the day of judgment. And if you are the one that the people are speaking about, Abshir. Abshir. Congratulations. Mabruk. You got a free hasanat on a golden platter. Your mother, your father cannot give you a hasana on the day of judgment. And this guy comes on a golden platter and he gives you thousands of hasanat because he spoke behind your back. Let them speak. Let them talk. مثقال ذرة, a mustard seed of good or evil, it will be recorded. My brothers and sisters, what is the solution? 3-word hadith. 3-word. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من صمت نجا. Whomsoever is quiet, he's saved. Think before you speak. If it's good, Bismillah. If it's not, no matter how juicy it is, restrain. Stop. And remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّا لَا نَسْمَعُ سِرَّهُمْ وَنَجْوَاهُمْ بَلَى وَرُسُلُنَا لَدَيْهِمْ يَكْتُبُونَ. And they think that we do not hear their secret and their private talk, but they forgot that our angels are recording everything. Finally, my brothers and sisters, we have exhausted the angel on the left. Let's get the angel of the right busy. writing all these great deeds. Give the angel on the left a break, especially in this month. Let's leave this month with a goal. I will be very careful of every word I utter from now on. اللهم أعنا على حفظ ألسنتنا. اللهم أعنا على حفظ ألسنتنا. Ya Allah, help us control our tongues. Ya Allah, help us to say only good or be quiet. Ya Allah, make our last deeds our best deeds, and make our last words لا إله إلا الله. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم وفقنا لما تحبه وترضاه. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم أعتق رقابنا من النار. اللهم أعتق رقابنا من النار. اللهم بلغنا ليلة القدر. اللهم بلغنا ليلة القدر. اللهم بلغنا ليلة القدر. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.